Casey Anthony accused of stealing from her grandmother to pay for Kaylee's birthday party. Just one bit of information from hundreds of more pages of documents just released in the case against Casey. Hey, good afternoon. I'm Eric Weber. First at noon, this breaking news. There's analysis of text messages to Casey's friends, interviews with Cindy's coworkers, and a lengthy interview with Casey's grandmother. Mike DeForest joins us now live on the set with more on this. And Mike, Casey's grandmother talked to investigators about where and when Casey stole from her. Break that down.
All right, we're going to talk about who we're talking about here.
Right.
This interview was conducted with Shirley Plauché. Now, she is Cindy Anthony's mother, which makes her Casey's grandmother and Kaylee's great-grandmother. Now, in this interview with detectives, she talks about the money that Casey stole from her, as well as the volatile relationships inside the Anthony household. Shirley attended Kaylee's memorial service last month. She's that white-haired woman there seated behind her daughter, Cindy. Now, back in August, Shirley told detectives that she wanted Casey arrested for stealing about $350 from her and her husband's checking account. But for Cindy and Kaylee's sake, the great-grandmother decided not to press any charges. Now, according to Shirley, Cindy strongly considered taking custody of Kaylee, even renting an apartment if she had to. Now, although the great-grandmother describes Casey as a caring mother, she wonders if Casey hated Cindy more than she loved Kaylee. Now, Shirley was unaware of any type of family fight occurring just before the toddler vanished, but she believes Casey knows a lot more than what she's telling detectives. Now, the great-grandmother was also angry when bounty hunter Leonard Padilla bonded Casey out of jail. You see in the video there, Shirley wanted her granddaughter locked up, saying, quote, Casey probably needs somebody to threaten her. I hate to think of her being put in a jail with them women that's going to beat the hell out of her, but it might do her some good. So this great-grandmother thought that if Casey was locked up in jail, maybe she would spill the beans on what happened. That obviously has not happened then or since. Now, these interviews, besides the great-grandmother, detectives also talked to another one of Casey's friends who was aware about Casey's drug use. Now, Cameron Campanilla says that Casey was known to smoke pot when she was hanging around other pot smokers, but he tells detectives she wasn't into any kind of hardcore drugs. So most of the other documents that we received today, information was stuff we had seen elsewhere.
Now, what about the fact that detectives were testing a Dora the Explorer backpack for fingerprints? What do we know about that?
This was kind of interesting. There's a Dora the Explorer backpack that Cindy Anthony originally found inside Casey's car the day that Cindy found Casey's car. Now, what's interesting about this backpack is detectives only recently tested it for fingerprints about a month ago. Now, what's interesting about that, detectives didn't find any fingerprints at all on this backpack. So we don't know the significance. A speculation could be why they're looking for fingerprints on this. This was presumably a backpack that little Kaylee had brought to the babysitter, Zanny, with her. And we can only imagine maybe they were looking to see if this so-called babysitter's fingerprints were on it, or more significantly, they could prove that there weren't any. But detectives were able to find nothing on that backpack.
Okay, again, about 300 pages or so of these new documents. Mike is sorting through them right now in this brand new release of documents in the case against Casey Anthony. Included is an interview with Dominic Casey, the private investigator who worked for the Anthony family. Much more on that and the rest of the documents tonight.